Hola, ¿cómo está? How are you, everyone? How are you, everyone? Is that correct English? How are you, everybody? I don't know anymore. I spent the day reading really bad Japanese essays written by my students. I asked them to discuss the advantages and disadvantages in their final exam. The advantages and disadvantages of going to a small rural university like the one they go to, where I teach, and man, it's like there's a separate class at my university that sort of teaches writing, and there's elective 1 and elective 2. There's 2 parts. And one, you start off with just combining sentences and making an effective paragraph, and then in the second and more advanced class, like putting those 3 paragraphs into like an essay expressing your point, etc. And the academic writing process in Japan is quite different than it is in America. The way you arrive at your point and the things that you stress in an academic paper are very different than, say, the typical 5-paragraph essay, the introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion that you would have in America. So it is hard sometimes, but just the utter... it was bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. Everybody kind of, it was worth 14 points out of an 80-point, final exam. This section where they had to free write was worth 14 points. I think out of maybe 50 students in one class, I probably gave 2 14s, and in the other class, the older kids, unfortunately, I think I gave 1 14. Everybody else kind of got 11s and 12s out of 14 possible points, and then a few people just missed the point entirely, only wrote like advantages, forgot about the disadvantage and whatever, and they maybe got like 7 or 8. It's just, again, it's sometimes it's like I'm very good now at figuring out what my students meant to write as opposed to what they did write, and I tend to give them points for what they meant to write, which means I forgive a lot of spelling and grammar and dropping of verbs and stuff. So yeah, it's just it takes a long time. It taxes your brain in a weird way to read like 100 of those in a day. So that was my day today. I've pretty much finished my grading. Now it's the big debate is the kids that are, it's 60% is passing in my Japanese university. I'm pretty sure all across Japan 60% is passing. Probably a lot of places in America and elsewhere too. So it's the kids who have 55, 58, Do you give them a couple points on the slide to bump them up to 60? Do you be hard line and, fail them? I sent out emails basically and said, hey, look, these are the grades. They're up on the computer. Go look. Hoping that some of the kids that are in that kind of, nebulous high 50s area would email me and say, hey, what can I do? Or something, I feel like they've taken some responsibility onto themselves. But of course, do they read their email in summer vacation from the university, etc.? Who knows? But anyway, that's the subject for a whole nother vlog, and I think I've talked about it before, but it's a tough part of being a teacher, do you fail someone or not? And what are the benefits, are they really going to benefit from taking this course again, etc., etc.? So it's Wednesday. I just watched 2.5 Oyaji. Hiko and Victor are back, and it was kind of an interesting politics discussion. And tomorrow's Thursday. I have to go to work tomorrow. I kind of work almost a full day. I'm working on, I designed the student newspaper and magazine, and I have to work on some layout stuff for the fall ahead of time, kind of a template that we're going to work off of and do some InDesign Adobe work tomorrow. Which is okay. It's not fun, but it needs to get done. And then Friday, I'll just check in with my boss, turn in my timesheets, input all my grades into the computer, and I'm done for the summer. And then next week, as you know, I go back to America. So this is probably the last daily vlog, to be honest, for a while. I've been pretty busy. I apologize that it's the 6th or 7th today, and I'm just getting around to sort of wrapping up the July vlogs. But the July vlogs did very well, and people really seem to like them, so thank you for your comments, and thumbs ups and views and all that good stuff. I was really happy that they went over well, and yeah, it would be great if I can, when I come back, maybe I can try again with that format. Today it was just funny because I'm trying to now, little Dr. Pepper. I'm trying now to sort of, like when you have to leave and I'm going to be gone for like 5 weeks, you really have to sort of plan, okay, I don't want to leave that much food in my refrigerator. Okay, how much milk do I have left? Like, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Okay, what is it, and I'm trying to plan out different things, and when can I take my trash out, and blah, 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 and all these things. I had a friend who came over yesterday, and he's going to come and look in on my apartment and help me pay some bills while I'm gone. I'm going to leave him some money, because, it's a long stretch of time. It's over a month, so things are going to come up. I need someone to water my plant. But one of the big things is trash, and I've never talked about trash on a vlog before. If this interests you, yay. If it doesn't interest you, I understand you turning the video off at this point and not watching any further. But trash in Japan is somewhat complicated, and I am a little bit sweaty, I'm sorry. It's just so freaking hot, guys. Well, I just went out and cooked, and, in this room, as you know, I have the aircon and the fan and everything, and it's cool, but in my kitchen, it's like 90 degrees. And then you turn on hot things to cook. My oven and my pan and whatnot. So I was just out doing the dishes, and you just get hot. Anyway, so yeah, I've got to think about trash. Luckily, my trash day is my friends are coming to pick me up on Monday, and we're going to drive together to Hiroshima. We're going to watch Pacific Rim. Yay. Quick TV shout out. Orange is the New Black. It's a Netflix-only series, and I put the eye patch on and got it over the internet, and have been watching it. I'm about 6 episodes in. I think it's 12 episodes total, and it's excellent. I recommend it highly. If you have Netflix in wherever part of the world you are, or you can get access to it. Really good show about a woman who's very waspy, and WASP is White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, in case you didn't know that. And she goes to prison for a year for a pretty minor offense, but she got caught doing something she wasn't supposed to a long time ago. And at the time she was in a lesbian relationship, and now she's engaged to Jason Biggs from the American Pie movies. And it's very well written and very funny, and of course, touching and dramatic and everything else. So that's what I've been kind of spending my nights doing when I'm not getting ready to leave. Back to movie, yes, Pacific Rim, yay. World War Z also opens this weekend. I might go see it, although I might be too busy. Some of these will still be playing in America when I get there. Like, I haven't seen Wolverine because it hasn't opened in Japan yet, but I will see it probably the very first week when I get back to America. And so I'm looking at the calendar. Your city hall, if you move to Japan, your city hall should be able to give you a Gomi. Gomi is trash. Gomi calendar. And on it will be the weeks and colored days. Like, this is a green day, this is a blue day, this is a gray day, this is an orange day. Different places have many types of separation of trash. Other places have very minimal separation of trash. My rural place where I live has what I consider to be a lot. So I'm just going to show you really quick some of the hoops and stuff that you have to go through and you have to think about when you throw things away. So there's blue. And the other thing, there's all kinds of writing and stuff on here, and pictures. I don't want to give away where I am, so it kind of tells you what you can put in there. So this is recycling, like pet bottles, empty plastic bottles, like this bottle when I'm finished drinking with it will go in there. But even like this chip bag, see how it has this little thing here? When the chips are all gone, I can put this in here. Trays that like meat come in, plastic wrap for things, this all goes in there. So I fill that up. That's actually the largest bag in my house and the largest trash can I have, just because, it's kind of bulky. The normal trash that comes twice a week is this green bag. And let's see what the little picture on here is. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you food waste and, I don't know why it shows you boots and shoes, but anyway, basically this is your sort of, you've cooked, you have, paper towel, trash, you have, scraps from whatever meal you've just eaten, things that are burnable. This would be called burnable trash. So that's usually the two major distinctions in Japan. Burnable versus non-burnable. That's everywhere. Everywhere makes that distinction. So things that have to go into a landfill versus things you can put into an incinerator. Most things will, of course, go in here, but they really ask that you try to recycle as much as you can. So I also have this one, which is gray, which is all kinds of aluminum and cans. So all my Dr. Pepper cans, I get like spaghetti sauce in a can. Those all go in there. And that's about once every 2 weeks, so about twice a month. I have orange, which is glass. All the different glass things. So any jars, my Caesar salad dressing comes in glass. My jam, my strawberry jam, that goes in this one. Again, about once every other week. Also on orange days is paper recycle. So, I have stacks of the Japan Times and the Japan News. So what I do with these is use kind of like this kind of what they call ribbon here, colored ribbon, or PP tape. Okay, there you go. Plastic something tape, and you just wrap the thing. The big thing that I add to obviously newspapers when I don't take them to school and use them is I eat a lot of cereal. So I keep all the boxes, flatten them, and tissue boxes. Like I just bought cream Colin, and I'll take, when I'm done with this, I'll rip the box and flatten it, and it will go in paper recycle, and pizza boxes, things like that. About every 2 weeks. These cost about 315 yen for 10, and you can buy them in any store. You just have to make sure that you're getting your city or your area specifically. I just had to buy the dark blue, and the dark blue is kind of like a special one, maybe once a month, and it's as opposed to the light blue. It's like things that are sort of uncategorizable. Like I need to throw away a belt. It has like metal and like leather. I broke a glass. I broke a plate. These kinds of things that like they're not really recyclable, where they don't fit in any of the other categories. You put them in the blue. And I think that's about it. I think there is like one other color. So there's my little color. So I just keep them all in this thing. But basically, you're dealing with once a week, you throw away the big light blue plastic pet bottle recycle. For me, that's every Tuesday. And then twice a week, you can throw away the green bag, which is a smaller bag for me, because I'm also live alone, of your sort of burnable trash. And you have to take it down to a place and put it in like a little dumpster. And it usually has netting because, the birds will try to get in there, the cats and whatever. And the one that's right next to my house, I think I showed you when I was walking around, is actually not my city. It's like the next city over. I'm like literally live on the borderline. So mine's like a 3 or 4 minute walk in the other direction. And I just drive it and drop it off when I'm going to school in the mornings. And collection time's about 8:30 a.m., so it works out pretty good for me going to school, because that's about the time I go to school every day. And that's trash. It can be complicated when you first get here, especially if you go to like a Matsuri, like a summer festival, and like, okay, chopsticks go here, the paper plate goes here, this goes here, the can that you're drinking out of goes there. But, don't let it worry you too much. Just figure out what the rules are in your apartment building or where you're living, and then go from there. It says you're supposed to write your name and stuff on the bag. I never do, but I live in the dumpster that I go to, at least 30 or 40 households use that dumpster. So, all right, I'm going to cut it off here. Thanks for watching. I'll do one more before I leave. Bye.